Hey guys, welcome to this upload for you guys here on Wrestling Fan Open Mic Night. And yes, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Yet again, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about Raw. That technically ended over 2 hours ago, but I waited because I didn't want to deal with WWE pumping on that music on the ad break. But then I realised it's Monday Night Raw. That technically doesn't have it. It goes a straight shooting for like a mini pay per view half of the time. But what can I say about this week's Monday Night Raw? Obviously, with the opening with Braun Baker and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman doing their usual stick. And then he's ordering, when Sami Zayn came out, he's pretty much ordering Sami Zayn, stay away, I'll trade you, I'll basically put you in the mind title picture to run away to Smackdown and hide. He's got until the end of the show to basically make his decision. Right. First and foremost, why does this faction already feels like an evolution to me? Already, you got Paul Heyman represented like the Ric Flair. You got Braun Baker that symbolizes Batista, and obviously Seth Rollins is now reminding me of Triple H. Now, that's not me saying it's a bad thing. It's a good thing if it's starting to work, but as of late, within the last couple of weeks of Monday Night Raw, yeah, it was a shocker that Braun Breaker joined them. Don't get me wrong, that was a really, really good shocker. But then when you look at it this week, what has Raw got to offer? Are we offering more members, or are we not offering more members? Are we literally getting the scrape of the barrel? But when I look at the way Monday Night Raw was portrayed, I'm being honest with you, I feel like this Raw was felt weird. Raw does feel weird as of late. Since Mania, I feel like they've put their feet off the gas going forward with certain storylines and missing opportunities. It's like it's a weird feeling Monday Night Raw at the moment. It feels like it's lackluster and it's not got the main event picture as you would expect from a Monday Night Raw. And it's weird to put into words how I'm feeling when I watch Raw. And this is me being honest with you, and I feel like it's not delivering as much as you would expect. For this has been the biggest company in wrestling in the in America side of things, if not the world. And to me, I don't know why, but when I watch this, I'm like, okay, there's no Cena, there's no Randy Orton. You've only got Seth Rollins, you've got Braun Baker, yeah, fair enough to build the next face of the company at some point. That sort of stint, yeah, fair enough. But you want something decent to watch week in, week out. Don't get me wrong, I will be not stopping watching week in and week out unless anything gets in my way. But I just want to point out how weird does Raw actually feel to you guys as fans? Because to me, it just feels weird. It's do you know this is meant to be the new era of Monday Night Raw on Netflix? Triple H quoted that, and I thought, okay, fair enough, we're stepping in this right direction. Okay, come to after Mania. This week and last week's feels a bit lackluster. It's lacking something. Main event picture. It's missing the mid card titles scenario. Don't get me wrong, I'm liking what I'm seeing, but some things are missing. Your tag team division, okay, that needs a bit more work. Your women's division, what normally was there week in, week out, you hardly see now because you pushed three new faces from NXT to the main roster, even though they're still under the NXT bracket. You've literally got this early morning, in the evening in the United States, you had the likes of Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley. Great match, but I do not like the ending situations, false finish sort of thing, because people get involved. That's stereotypical what, how do I put it? WWE do things. It's like the old school world. I hated the false finish. Obviously, yeah, fair enough. It ends in disqualification. Rhea Ripley gets the victory. A big whoop. You know, it's great they're aiming big for the big females of that roster, but you would expect a lot more from it. You know, I'm sick of these false finishes, these DQs. Like we got it last week, we got it this week with Julia. She got involved. Then all of a sudden you see Io Sky running. And I'm like, okay, you're building a protecting match that you've got your main women's title. It's the same problem when you had it with the Becky Lynch scenario before she turned heel, obviously. You know, it feels like I don't know what they're doing with the women's division completely. You know, some of it delivers, some of it don't. But where are the main women that were actually on Raw every single week? Now all of a sudden you just show them in like backstage segments like Liv Morgan, Raquel, prime example. They're women tag team titles. Yeah, fair enough. They defended them on NXT last week, and then Monday Night Raw last week when they actually won them back. But you're going to use them on backstage segments. The women's this is really really confusing. You know, but don't get me wrong, I don't mind the women that are being pushed from NXT to the main roster to go for the biggest woman on God's green earth of WWE in the women's division out the two brands. I don't mind that, but I don't like the fucking disqualification endings. You know, it doesn't appeal to me at all. You know, I know you're building towards that tag team match probably at Backlash, but give it a break with the freaking disqualifications. Then we had Logan Paul come out, having his say. Then all of a sudden, he's challenging Jey Uso for the title. It makes sense to a point because obviously he's holding a grudge since the Royal Rumble being knocked out of it. But this is the start of the new year. And by the looks of it, we're probably going to have Logan Paul versus Jey Uso for the world title. You know, I said many times, I feel like Logan Paul's underrated. He needs a world title shot, but not just yet. Possibly at SummerSlam, but by the looks of it, you're going to get it in Backlash. And I feel like this is done far too quickly. So you've literally going to rely on that challenge, then build it up from like you're going to build it week by week. You know, it's bad enough when you see the likes of John Cena and Randy Orton disappearing. You know, since their match is technically 100% confirmed now. You know, why are you literally getting people to do beatdowns, then all of a sudden you are challenging them for their title, then use it week by week to build that from that challenge? It should be the other way around. You should technically do the challenge last thing. That's just me being an old school fan, but it makes zero sense with that. Then you also had the likes of Finn Balor and Jordan Devlin. I'm still calling him by his independent name. I don't care. Versus the War Raiders. It's an okay tag team match. Don't get me wrong. I did like this match, to be honest. And then War Raiders got the victory. So, but out of the blue, you've literally got Pentagon Jr. or Penta, as he's known in WWE, being interfered with that match. So you're teasing towards something between him and Ray Phoenix reuniting as obviously the Lucha Brothers. We can see that coming. I don't mind them facing Jordan Devlin and Finn Balor down the line. Not next week, down the line. But then we look at the likes of Becky Lynch when she comes out, and then you got doing the beatdown. Well, matter of speaking, why she's actually done the beatdown. You know, and I look at Becky and I'm thinking, okay, you're building towards Becky having a title shot against the IC champion, women's champion. Lyra, don't get me wrong, it should be a good match, but it's a backlash. Yet again, another beatdown, challenging for the title. You should be doing that the last bit if you're going to build it week by week. It's bad enough last week you did rush the build towards Becky being a heel. She was a face at Mania. 24 hours later, or 48 hours, or whichever night it was, you literally had her turn heel, and now she's challenging for the IC Women's title. Well, technically, Lyra put it on the line, but if you know what I mean. And I'm like, so she gets a mid-card title shot. Okay, you're putting some prestige to this title because the women want this title. I get that. I get it completely. But you are rushing this. Stop rushing what you could build up more momentum going forward. You know, there's other women that could easily have that title shot if you were going to build it week by week. You know, that's what I mean. This is where it's messing up for me. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? You know, and then you had straight after another women's match. Yes, Stephanie Valkyria versus Ivy Nile. Evie Nile, however you pronounce the name. We checked Gable in the corner. That match, to be honest, was my favourite match. And it's weird you were actually putting Stephanie Valkyria on the main roster picture when she's holding the women's title. You know? And if she's being moved to the main roster, why the hell is she still got the women's title of NXT? Because if I recall rightly, back in the day when someone called Paige literally had to relinquish her title because she was literally moving to the main roster or wrestling on the main roster, but that thing doesn't exist anymore. You know, it really frustrates me when they do that sort of shit. You know? And then you literally got Pat McAfee having his say. Passionate promo, don't get me wrong, it was good, but do not turn off the swearing when he swears. You know, yeah, he's full of himself, but he's got a match against the likes of Gunther and Pat McAfee at Backlash. Why? Yes, we get the beatdown, but you're... Why? You know? It confuses me. Now, the thing is, the talk of the moment was where Seth literally offered Sami Zayn to swap brands because he don't want to hurt him, he loves him so much and all this lot. I'm not being funny. Sami Zayn did mention something like his carbon copy. We did this with the Bloodline. We did this. We did that. And now Seth's doing it. And I'm not being funny, but you wasted. After Pat McAfee, you wasted this bit. You could have easily put a match in. Easily a match or two. You know, this is one thing that's really confused me about Monday Night Raw. How much promo time do you fucking need? You know? And you look at the likes, will he accept, will he not accept? Obviously, Sami Zayn is brave enough to not accept. Then all of a sudden it turns into a fucking match between Braun Baker and Sami Zayn turns into a match and a beatdown completely, and I'm like, okay, freaking Nora. And then the referee stops the match because it was a beatdown. I'm glad I didn't buy it. If I was in Kansas City, I'd be wanting my refund. You know, I'm not disrespecting WWE or anything like that. I'm just being honest, and I'm like, how could one company not that long ago do so well for numerous of weeks, and now it's gone back to drizzling crap? It baffles me how you can literally give someone a title shot for doing that for. Did the likes of Jey Uso turn around and go, oh, it's an open challenge? No. This is the problem where I feel like WWE fails to build a company for the next big thing. Fair enough, the Braun Baker situation, that's not what I'm including because I can see him being a good future for what WWE's setting out to do. But It's confusing. This is your premiere show that's been going on since 1993. And I feel like when I look at the last couple of weeks and I'm thinking, is this what you've got to offer the fans for the price you are charging? Because it frustrates me just watching it, because I'm thinking, okay, what direction are you going with your women's division, even though you're building a women's pay-per-view very soon? What direction are you doing in the tag team division? What division are you doing your main card? It's weird to think when I look at Backlash and I'm thinking, what could savour that show? What could savour that show? It's made me want to stay up and watch it from 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm literally going to watch it anyway, but I'm just saying in general. This Backlash feels weirdly booked, building up towards this booking storyline. It's so confusing, it feels lackluster, it feels so rushed, and I'm like, what direction are you going for this pay-per-view? Then after that one, what you got? It's just me being honest. As you know for a while, I keep stressing this. I do not sugarcoat shit. I'll tell you it straight. If it's shit, it's shit. I'll tell you it's shit. And this, I don't know what direction they're going with this year. And Triple H says this is the new era of Monday Night Raw. It's weird because you've literally got the main women's title not utilised properly again. You got the IC title that finally is going to get someone's giving it some credibility, which I'm looking forward to that match at Backlash. The women's tag team titles is drizzling shits. What can WWE do to salve themselves? Where can they still improve? This is a company that's been around for fucking years, and they're making this mistakes. It just doesn't make any sense. Putting Logan Paul in the title picture now. Yeah, fair enough. It's a throwaway match. It will make Jay look strong. You know what I'm really looking forward to? The tease that what could be happening. AJ Styles was just dominant Mysterio for the IC title. If that actually pans out to be on Backlash, that will savour the pay-per-view. That will savour the pay-per-view to be watched, because I'm intrigued about that match. Because if you look at because Logan Paul beat AJ at WrestleMania, that makes him in the main event picture. This is why I say Raw's lacking. It's lacking those main eventers. Are they doing it to make fans miss the likes of Cody Rhodes, make fans miss CM Punk? Because at the end of the day, where are they? Granted, Cody needs some time off. Give him credit where it's due. But Punk's on Smackdown. It just confuses the hell out of me, guys. It's frustrating. And that's just me being honest. It's warm early morning. It's a warm early morning here. My room is absolutely roasting. I ain't even got the heating on. It's only spring and it's only April. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I'm off, guys. So I'll catch you guys soon. Remember, thank you ever so much for the 7 subscribers I've gained here on already. Let's get that road to 100 and keep on progressing, because at the end of the day, I enjoy talking about professional wrestling to you guys at home. If it weren't for you guys, I would not be sitting on my chair right now near enough 5:30 in the morning talking about professional wrestling. But until next time, catch you guys later.